Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Dodger here. Welcome back to Automation, the Car Company Tycoon game. Today we are continuing on in our Lite campaign playthrough, as we will do through the entirety of the Lite campaign, which will take us to, like 2010? No, 2020, I think? Somewhere in that range. So we've got some time to go here. We have the Truffle Mark III and the Zoids Mark II ready for production. They are currently engineering. We got some years to pass through. We've been pretty lucky here so far in recent times. The economy hasn't really messed with us too much. It's been pretty stable. And most of our cars here of recent have been in pretty good condition. The only one that really, I think, might be reaching the end of its lifespan is probably going to be either the Jaws or the Magnet. You would think it would be the Magnet, but it's such a simple car that it just doesn't seem to require that much updating. So what I'm going to do is run through 1993 and 1994 and just do my little tweaks along the way of these cars' production. And then in 1995, that's when we'll take a look at things, see where we are, and see what we might want to build. 93 was another good year for us. No real change in reputation or prestige, but a nice increase in the wallet. $1.4 billion made this year, put us up to $17 billion. And things are still looking good, so let's just continue on till 95. Alright, 1994 was again another good year for us. We actually gained some reputation and prestige this time. These numbers are very small and moving around in very small increments. $1.1 billion in profit. Not bad for having a car in engineering, or actually two cars in engineering most of that year. It is time, however, to say goodbye to a vehicle that sold 2.1 million cars, made us $10.35 billion, and has overall become a legend in our company. And I'm now going to cancel it, or it is already canceled. I'm going to sell the remaining engines for scrap for another $18 million. Thanks, Truffle Mark II. You've served us well. How's the Truffle Mark III looking? Well, it's already showing a $72 million profit, which is nice, and we can actually probably increase these markups even more. One thing that is nice is it seems to be selling to the utility market as well as the people mover market, so that's an improvement versus the Mark II. Anything else to look at? Well, let's look at our sales real quick here. Boy, overall, there's a lot of green across this board. Really doing very well in most of the sports categories. We're doing well in the city categories still. Like I said, we're really doing well with the family car with the new truffle. We don't do great in regular family, but that's a category that's just a real hot mess to get into. And we're not the kind of super high production company that I think fights to these categories very well. We're much better at dominating these smaller categories. That's more what we're about. The one that we're kind of missing in the smaller categories is, I would believe, the Pony and Pony Budget. Those are two that I have certainly struggled to try to work my way into. I'm thinking what we might try to do is see if we can make ourselves a muscle pony family car. Something in that kind of category. Something to kind of straddle those. I'm not sure how to do it, but if we go to our production, the Jaws something has happened with it. Very recently, it has stopped making money. It is actually significantly losing money. I'm going to turn the production down on it to recoup those losses, but it's certainly reached a point where this family sedan is not doing so great. Not doing so great at all. I mean, it's still fine. It's still a fine car. It's just not the moneymaker it once was. It has made us $3.2 billion, so it's not done terrible. But when you consider something crazy like the Zoids has made us $2 billion, it could have done better. So, where do we go from here? Let's see. R&D wise, I've probably not poured enough into this considering we have 18 billion. I saw some comments saying, maybe I'm a little too gun shy with my money, considering we have 18 billion, but I don't want to tank this company. I've done it. It's not fun. So let's try to avoid that. Let's try to keep some money in the bank. But we will try to do something maybe a little bit more crazy and on the fun side today, even though we've designed supercars, but even our supercar was kind of vanilla if you think about it. It sells to a lot of different categories, not just pointing right on one. If I'm going to pour money into something, I think I'm going to do it on interior and on... Let's go ahead and do it on aspiration. Well, there's nothing to gain there. I want things before everybody else. Like, getting the sequential gearbox before everybody else, that's going to be great. Is getting electronic stability better? Probably not. Off-road suspension? Probably not. So yeah, we'll just keep pouring money, I think, into fuel system. That seems like a very profitable thing to pour money into. So new cars. Possibly going to be a replacement for the Jaws. So we'll go ahead and say this is going to be a Jaws Mark II, but it might not be. We will see. Let's look at 10 years. Does this... Oh, it does have a coupe version. It's not super muscly looking, though. Where's our coupes? 10 years, yep. Is this considered a dated body now? It's 95, it would be 97. I mean, I'm comparing it to the real car that we know what this is. You're not fooling us, automation developers. This is an F-body Camaro. I don't know. It doesn't have a four-door version, which limits us. So let's go back to, where was that coupe slash sedan? Yeah, this guy. Let's see what we could do with this. Let's see if we can do something a little different. I'm also going to take a different approach here, because I'm not sure how this car is going to turn out. So I'm not even going to design its body originally. Longitudinal. Oh, let's do McPherson up front and double wishbone in the back. Do I sound confident? Because I shouldn't sound confident. Let's give it some good fender size. 195 in the front, that's not enough. 205 is barely enough. Even 215 is not quite what I was hoping for. Alright, so we'll just have to probably really throw some offset into these tires, or wheels, I mean. Offset tires, that would be something. The general shape of this car leads me... It leads the eye to think it would be a front-wheel drive sports car like your Celicas or your Eclipse or something like that. But we're going to try and do something different with it. Okay, so we put a grill on there. We'll give it plenty of cooling. Yeah, that's probably more than we'll ever need. And then let's go ahead and just start designing the car and seeing if it has any numbers that are doable. So if we want to try and get to Pony, we definitely need it to be a V8. There's no questions there. Let's try a mixed metal, just because I haven't, and I'd like to see what it could do, what kind of reliability. I mean, if we can get 60 reliability out of the mixed metal, then that's kind of worth it, because we lose a lot of engineering time not having the aluminum block, but we gain some weight, which pony cars don't usually care too much about. Let's try to get this thing to sing a little bit. It's probably a waste of money. Nah, It is a pony car. Pony. We'll run it on regular so that it sells to the budget stuff a little bit better. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this on the smaller side of the market, on the smaller budget side of the market, that is. Let's see, let's get her to stop knocking. 378 horsepower. That is not shabby. That is not savvy. That is not savvy. I'm sorry. What did you just say, Cone? That is not shabby. 388 horsepower. Would need more RPM, or it could use some de-stroking too, just to keep those piston velocities down. There we go. And then, yeah, could use some more RPM for sure. Not too much. What's the reliability look like? 58. So 58 with mixed metal versus 57 aluminum block. Wow, it's actually better with the mixed metal. Interesting. So really it would just need to be de-stroked a bit more to get a reliability back. $63.4, still making 359 horsepower with a big fat torque curve. So this thing's, it's in the muscle territory for sure, but at only 4.8 liters, I'm worried that it's not going to score as well in the muscle and pony stuff. It is the mid-90s. Let's get some 6-speed manuals in these things. Let's make sure we have some kind of limited slip. Let's try and get 16s on it, and like we said, big tires. Just gonna go in the standard route on the interior stuff for now. I don't feel as though I have any real definition as to where this is going. Just kind of playing it by ear. Alright, well that's encouraging. Its initial scores are good in Pony. It's probably going to be budget hard to do in Pony, but I think if it scores well enough, the buyers will be there. Alright, initial market run. No markup at all. We're barely over 100 in some categories. So we have work to do for sure, because, I mean, 20% markup is minimum. So if we can get a 20% markup to have 100, that would be fantastic. And Pony is probably the one most important to me here. Family Sport Premium. I think we already have cars doing that. Actually, I believe the Sharky's going to Lite Sport and the track stuff, so never mind. The Family Sport and Family Sport Premium would be cool too. Yeah, it seems like these Pony buyers want a little bit of a cheaper car. So let's throw the 2 seats in there. Let's go to a basic cassette. Yeah, that's bringing this car up. Let's see. Basic interior? Too much. that's a little too far. But we're making headway here. Alright, great. Putting equal tires front and rear actually helped the scores enough to get us over 100 with our markup. So that's looking pretty promising. What kind of stats does this thing actually pull off? It's 3,000 pounds, so it's not light. But it's not obnoxiously heavy either. 180 top speed is probably way too fast. 13.5, 5.60 to 60, so it's not too fast out of the gate, but once it's moving, it's a highway roll car. I believe that's what the kids say, right? A highway roll. But no, yeah, I'm pretty encouraged by this. The question is, what else could we do with this platform? Well, actually, what I should do is go back and actually put some fixtures on this thing, give it a look. It's got no personality right now. It needs a face. So many of these headlights are projector style, and we're not quite to projector style timeline yet. However, these are not projector style and actually fit this body pretty well. I love this big, huge, wide front end that's got going for it. You know me, I don't usually like a car that has a smile on it, but this thing is just devious enough looking for me to accept it. Yeah, it's just an angry looking car. It's a little derpy from the side, actually. But from the exact front, it is angry. I relaxed the hood just a little bit to give it a little less derp. Oh, that's much better. Yeah. It actually gave it it took away from that front end devious look a bit, but it's not bad. I think it's these super wide fenders and the headlights that are really far spread out that give it that look. This trunk is begging for a spoiler, so I will give it one. Do we dare try to pull off the Sylvia lights? Oh, we dare. Oh, we definitely dare. Yeah, I like that. Kind of wraps around. I don't know that I've ever actually made these lights pull off on anything before. It's maybe a first. Yeah, I may not have designed it first, but I'm happy with what we've come up with here. It is a mean-looking SOB. I am pretty pleased. For a body, like I said, doesn't look like it should be a rear-wheel drive muscle/sports car. It ended up being right along those lines. I am not displeased at all. Should coincide with the Sharky very well. Two very similar cars, in my mind. If the game worked this way, they would be sharing engines and drivetrains and that kind of stuff, just on different platforms. So that's pretty cool. And I think the dark red makes it look even better. So that is the color I will choose. I do need to go back into here and make sure, because I put a lip on the back of it. Let's make sure that it doesn't have any downforce in the rear causing any issues for it. Yeah, it was. And we added a ton of cooling that it probably doesn't need. Alright, nice. So there's the coupe one said and done. That's a winner. I'm pleased with that. But what else could we do? So this body had other variants, like a wagon. It left the spoiler on there. That's amazing. I want that in my life. Please say this car would actually be good. You see, the thing is, it sells to the exact same market. So without changing some stuff in the car, it's not going to be any different. So I aimed for the stars and tried to make this thing into a GT and GT Premium. Not an easy category. Especially when they have a $59,000 budget, and this body is already considered to be too old. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a one-trick pony, if you will, because this trim isn't doing anything for it. It's not any better than the regular coupe was, and there's not a lot of different directions to take it. It's very good in this configuration. Does it have anything to do with the jaws, though, is the question, because it's not a sedan. It's not going to take that car's place. It's like something new altogether. So if you compare Pony to Muscle, Muscle cares more about power and capacity and quarter-mile time, versus Pony kind of cares about reliability and that stuff. So what if we did a crazier version of it? And by the way, it is definitely no longer the Jaws Mark II. It will definitely be something new. Something that is kind of a blend of all of our cars. It's the Bionic. That's right, I'm still taking names from the people who make comments in chat. So if you want a car named after you, make a comment. We only got, what, 25 years left to go here. Let's see about making a super sport version of the F body. So right out of the gate, we need to take this engine away from being regular and make it high octane. So that's gonna make for the biggest change. I'll run it on super. They don't care about economy at all, basically, these buyers. So we take our engine from producing 300 and something horsepower to 400 and something horsepower just with that. Reliability does come down a little bit to 58, but that's still reasonable, by all means. And there might be more left in it here. 411, it doesn't have a lot of overrun. Doesn't have a lot of overrun at all. Actually, there's more compression left in it because I put VVT on the intake cams. 412 horsepower. This is basically the most you're going to get out of a sane NA build of this engine. We'll see if we need to stay sane. should I have? Alright, so what does that do? I would like to be in the 12s. I would like this thing to put down a 12-second quarter mile. That is my goal. Widen the rear fenders. Can we get more tire? Sure we can. 255. That's gonna understeer like a pig. Sure, but I mean, maybe we could widen the front. Yeah, it didn't really ruin anything to do that. So now we got bigger tires on it. We're still wheel spinning like mad, but we'll put a geared LSD in there. Oh wow, that actually hurts its score. That's surprising. The viscous LSD didn't. We're at a 4.9 0 to 60 right now. Oh, 1302. It's so close. 12.9. 12.9. Wowzas. So yeah, now this one definitely only sells to muscle. It's actually scoring pretty well in muscle premium, which is a category that only the Zoids is kind of regarded to. So this would be something we would sell at very high markup. Very high markup. Well, let's go ahead and go to engineering and see if it's possible to produce these two together. 3 years, 7 months to engineer the chassis. 3 years, 9 months for the engines, and I don't think I'm available. Nope. So, a long project, an expensive project, and I don't care. Is this going to be replacing anything? It is not. However, we have the Hewitt engine small factory available. I don't know that that's going to do us any good. We may end up needing a new factory for this thing, which would be quite an expense. Quite a serious expense for a car that is not going to make us a ton of money, possibly. We will have to see. Now, we have other areas available. We could make this thing in Fruenia and then ship them back to Gazmea, where they're probably going to sell. So let's see, the plot size, or the plot cost for a large one is 216, medium, which is probably what we'll need, 57. So it's about half as much in Fruenia. Let's just kind of consider that for the moment. Something I've wanted to try. This might be the vehicle to try it with. Man, that sound is loud. Alright. Let's do a medium 2. And 20% markup. Very, very good scores here. We're probably talking way more markup than that. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely more markup. Alright, so we could only produce so many of them at this point. But if we're going to be talking a 60% markup on them or more, then that's not a problem, is it? Currently, we are selling them in Arcana, saying maybe we could sell a few, but not many. So now's the point where I want to try and figure out how would I not sell them here. Okay, right there, 0 priority. So we had 0 priority in selling them over here. It would change virtually nothing. So an expensive project this would be. $1.2 billion project. And it would take us, like I said, 3 years to make it. It wouldn't start till 98. It's pretty future-proof in the way that it's modern tech for what it is. Just trying to find the words to spit out there. It's, like I said, it's an expensive project. It's not something that's probably going to be super profitable. It's a project of passion rather than a project of profit. But like somebody said, we got the money in the bank. There's no reason not to do stuff like that at the moment. And with scores like this, gosh, it seems like I have to. It really does. Very, very good scores. And muscle's not a slow-selling category. Question is, could we make more of them? Would that be better? Alright, like I said, it's a risk. It's a risk. We might lose the $1.2 billion on this. That's very possible. But I find that unlikely. It is seeming like a 2-year turnaround for breaking even. Actually, 18 months is doable, um, and we have the money to do it. It's not the car I set out to build today. I set out to build a family sedan. That didn't happen. We'll have to do that next time here in automation, because I'm about to sign off on this complete mistake. That's really freaking awesome. I really love that car. Between the Bionic and the Zoids and the Mark III Truffle, there's 3 of my favorite vehicles made in automation, even if you don't count the fact we're just doing a Lite campaign here. Those are really cool cars. I am not displeased with that. Um, let's go ahead and get through 1995 and into 1996 for today. Watch the premium market continue to decline like this, and watch me panic. Buddy, the Jaws is just hurting. Nobody wants this thing all of a sudden. Yeah, we'll definitely have to design ourselves a new sedan for 96. That's gonna have to happen. Alright, so for 95, a year that I expected to lose some money, actually gained some money. $1.1 billion. So, although the Bionic is a little bit of a risk, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I believe we'll be able to start engineering on the replacement Jaws in 96 here with no problems whatsoever. I think our prestige is probably going to be on the incline here soon as the Bionic and Zoids Mark II hit the market, and that's going to be good for our company. Really, things are looking pretty good right now. I am not displeased. But that is going to do it for today. I have run out of time to record tonight, so next time we'll pick up right here and design ourselves a Jaws replacement. I swear, it's going to be a family car. I'm not going to build another sports car. I really like building sports cars, though. we are what Mazda always claimed to be. Every car we build is a sports car.